Hi beer geeks, or should I say non-beer geeks. Welcome back to Brad's Lowbrow. This is the show where we see if technology can help you cheat your way to success in the world of craft beer. And today I want to deep dive into the coolest cool bags and cool boxes from around the world. When I'm done with you today, you're gonna have a cool bag for every possible situation. From taking a few beers to a mate's house for an impromptu thing, to like the best day at the beach ever, all the way through to a week-long camping expedition. This is Lowbrow Tech Cheats for Beer Geeks. Cool Box Edition. Okay, so the first cool bag that I want to talk you through is something I think feasibly you could carry it around with you every day. You could put it in your satchel, your work bag, your school bag. Don't be drinking if you're at school, guys. But in all seriousness, it does go very compact. It does have quite a lot of unique features, which I really like, which I'll talk you through. And it is the Bellroy Cooler Caddy. So it looks kind of quite plain, really, I guess. There's not seemingly a lot to it at first. Oh, it's got kind of like a sort of squishy, kind of like sort of thing you might want to put your laptop in quality to it. And I can see if I keep going, I can compress this thing down really small. Like, how small is that? That's dead small, right? That's not me just imagining how small that is. This is quite a premium product. It commands quite a high fee. It's £55 currently on Amazon UK, which, you know, seemingly feels like quite punchy and potentially sort of hard to justify to yourself. But if you kind of consider it as an item that you could potentially take around with you every single day, and it becomes part of your routine, you know, after work, you might go to a bottle shop and pick up some fresh, lovely cold chain beer that's never been in a horrible, you know, too hot climate. It's been treated really well, and you want to get it home, or you want to get it to a friend's house, safe, sound, crispy as it comes. This probably is the thing you're going to have on you. So it's made from Bellroy, who I believe are an Australian company. They're actually a B Corp certified company. This says it's actually leather free and made from recycled materials. That's really nice, and I think looking at the quality of the hardware, the zips, the nylon webbing, super nice. I'll go into this little buckle feature in a bit. I can see this thing lasting for a good long time. So if I just push it out, it's got this thing, right, where it folds flat like that for transport, but then you can push it out like this, and then it takes on a different form, which maybe looks like it could actually accommodate some beers now. When you push those corners out, all of a sudden this kind of makes a little bit more sense. The slightly short thing, and you pull this together like this, and then you've created a sort of little beer carrying cradle, which is actually really nice. I still don't quite understand why they didn't make this longer so you could add more flex. They've made it so you can make it shorter. I'm not sure why you'd want to make it shorter. They claim it holds a 6-pack, which, I mean, undoubtedly it will hold a 6-pack. I can see that already. So we've got some lovely Lost and Grounded Keller pills here. 4 of them going in. We're going to see what sort of space we're left with. Loads of space, actually. Right, I can easily fit another 2 beers in there. There's no problem at all fitting another 2 beers. And that has closed really nicely. Yeah, okay. It's not massively heavy. I mean, weirdly, I'm not going to be able to do that, which I'd quite like to sort of spread the weight on a shoulder potentially. And now I see why this makes more sense, because with cool bags, air is your enemy. So you kind of want to fill them to the brim with cold stuff, get as much air out of it as you can. I wouldn't suggest taking it away for a weekend or anything like that, but for a whole day, I'm sure these will be lovely and cold in here. It also has a feature which I think is really cool, of this buckle here, which I've cinched in this buckle, which is quite beautifully made actually, not quite sure what it's made of, maybe machined aluminium, it's very, very light. This is a bottle opener, supposedly. So you could carry six bottles of beer in there, I'm guessing. When you get to your destination. Wow, that's a pretty functional bottle opener. A lot of companies, when they put extra features on like that, they really are gimmicky. I really like the Cooler Caddy, and I could see myself using this as my everyday carry cooler. Yeah, everyday carry cooler. I'm sticking with it. Right, we're one cool bag down. My next contender for the coolest cool bag competition to seize the crown, potentially, is another sort of origami-esque flat cool bag. This one is from Ray Co-op in the USA. I'm not sure if it's REI or Ray, but they're a sort of an adventure goods company that are out all over America. Sadly, not in the UK yet, but this is called the Packaway 12. Now the 12 is a bit of a giveaway because they reckon you can hold 12 cans in here, ice cold for up to 32 hours. And I can tell you, I have used this extensively, and it will easily carry 12 cans, and it will keep them cold for the time that they're saying. If anything, it's way better than that. Firstly, I must say I love the design of it. It feels almost like a kind of piece of military hardware. I love this heavy Cordura nylon they've used. It's a really, really great grade. Same with the webbing, also excellent. It uses these kind of hook and loop systems, which you might be familiar with, you know, this sort of thing in tents, and yeah, if you've got any sort of bags that are modular that you can kind of add bits to, it's a similar system, right? So you're basically hooking and looping everything through these little areas, and that gives you the first shape of the cooler. I guess I should put some beers in it so we can see it at least fits 12. So four giant 500ml, so these are 2 litres of beer going in right there. That's 10. That's 11, that's 12. What you want to do is get rid of the air gap from the top, and that's where this clever, nifty origami format comes in, because you just cinch down the top. If you've got more space than you need, cinch it down, get rid of that air. You don't want that space. And now, look at how beautiful and robust this little square is. I mean, it's changed from being the biggest laptop sort of sleeve in the world to being a super cool, rugged, little cool box. The most annoying thing about owning cool boxes is storing them. You know, some of them are huge. They take up a lot of space. They're not very flexible. Now, the Ray holds loads of beers. It's going to keep you going for a couple of days, or if you're out with a group of friends, you know, at a park or a party. So you're gonna be a popular person. But you know, when you're done with it, look at how small this format is. It's great. It's so good. You know, that takes up no space. We can all find a little spot in our house, maybe slide it under the bed, you know, behind a cupboard, and it's there when you need it. Ray, you've knocked it out of the park, guys. Great design. I'm not sure I can express how excited I am to bring this next cool box to you guys. I think we all dream of going back to simpler times when life was easier, right? And you kind of look back and you think in the past, I was born in the 1980s, so I've got a real reverence for kind of Saved by the Bell and like neon colors and, you know, American high school kind of like cool guys and, you know, ghetto blasters and all these really, really great 1980s, 1990s things, which are kind of missing out of culture now because we've all got a little bit cool and maybe everything's got a little bit more bland. But you know what? It's summertime outside, and you know what that means? It's time to head to the beach, and I think I've got the ultimate beach cool box that I've ever seen, and it's a kind of back to the future moment, because this is a product that was launched in the end of the 1980s, right? So this is a long-standing thing. A lot of you out there in America, our American viewers, are going to be very familiar with this. It's a new product to the European market, and I'm going to introduce it to you, but I think I need to do a little bit of a costume change, so just bear with me a sec. And there we're back in the room. I had to do a little bit of a change there in homage to the 1980s, 1990s neon day glow. Got my little bum bag, got my wraparound specs on, got my crazy shorts on, because you know what, we're heading to the beach, guys. This is the Playmate Cool Tunes from Igloo, and it is an American classic. Whew. Right, let me take some of this off. It's hot at the beach. Some of you may already be familiar with the Cool Tunes, but it's only come to my attention in the last year when they've had a relaunch of this. It's a classic design from the 1980s, brought all the way up to the 21st century. It's in a retro pink and teal colorway, which I absolutely love. These are two of my favorite colors in the world, and it just screams 90s fashion. It's amazing. What we all want to know is it's got two 5-watt integrated speakers that are pretty bassy and stuff. It's Bluetooth 5.0, compatible music streaming connectivity, rechargeable internal lithium ion battery that lasts up to 10 hours. I guess we should talk about some of the cooling specs as well. It's filled with eco-friendly Igloo thermocool insulation. I gotta tell you, it performs well as a cool box. We'll get into that, but this is the party trick. I push this pad on the back.
iTunes on.
We are now connected to my iPhone, Spotify, Deezer, whatever you use. There's the Jay-Z one, I can't remember what that's called. Whatever your streaming platform is. So, just to clarify, it's not the sort of music I'd normally listen to, but it's Otis McDonald, who we use a lot of the time on our YouTube videos. Shout out Otis. This is a meeting of worlds, right? So, two great things I love, like I say, beer, good times, this is three things actually, and audio technology. So we can see that, you know, this is a Playmate, right? We know these things are good. How many beers can we fit in it? I've got all different formats. Got the 330ml, there's 4 going in. There's 6 in there now. These are the 440 kind of big boys. How many can we fit in there? There's, oh, there are 3 of those in there. And then these are half-litre big boys. 4 of them. So what are we up to now? We're up to 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 cans, 14 cans. I've run out of cans, but do you know what? I could fit in at least 18 cans of different various formats. I think if I had just 330mls, I could comfortably fit maybe 24. That sounds a bit wild. Maybe that's a wild claim, but look at this. I mean, I've got so many cans in here. That is pretty amazing. This is about the most ultimate cool box I could ever imagine buying for someone or for myself. So I absolutely love it. Cool Tunes, Igloo, you knocked it out of the park. I'll see you down at the beach. Right, things are getting exciting. This next cool box, the last cool box in the lineup, I'm not lying when I say this is probably one of the favourite things that I own, full stop. This is such a great bit of kit that I am convinced it's probably going to outlive me. It'll probably outlive any kids that I might have one day. This thing is robust. It's like military grade. It's awesome. It's orange. It's the Utaka 20 rotor molded cool box. Oh dear, it's a big boy. It's a big boy. Now this thing, if any of you out there know anything about cool boxes, cool bags, cooling, anything, just being cool in general, you'll know that, you might not know the name, but you'll know that a rotor molded cool box is pretty much top of the line. Like in the way that it's made, you're not going to get anything much better quality than this. And I absolutely adore it. I've thrown this thing around in the back of my van on long camping trips, and it's never let me down. You might be asking yourself, what's roto molding, Brad? Well, it's a molding process which is very, very, very slow compared to injection molding, but it also offers an incredible strength and a kind of a much higher quality of insulation due to the kind of the process in how it's made. And it's rotational molded plastic that kind of builds up over time. It takes a long time to make these things, which is why they have kind of a high price tag. But to be honest, I actually think this is great value. It's £200. It comes with lots of lovely accessories, which I will run you through now. At the basic interior, you can see how thick the rotor molded walls are, right? There is an air gap inside between the inner and outer wall, which basically is a heat barrier between the interior and the exterior of the world. So whatever you put in this thing, if it goes in hot, it's going to stay hot, and if it goes in cold, it's going to stay cold. I've had it on a 5-day trip with packed full of ice and beer. 5 days later, I still had some solid ice in the bottom. 5 days later. This is a summer trip. Now, I talked about the idea of putting food in here. Maybe you don't want your kind of fresh meat and stuff in with your beers, in which case, all you do, slide this down the middle, and you've got a great dividing line there between your beers and your food. You can even put this basket in the top, if I get it right around, and you can put your stuff you really don't want to get wet with water, so maybe, you know, your green veg, things that you can't, you know, get in with everything else. You put that in the little cradle at the top, and it's really, really great at kind of compartmentalizing stuff. So I love those accessories. Well done, Utaka. They also give you this awesome beer caddy that goes on the side, right? Now this is perfect for Crispy Boy, a can. I feel like you can't see me. I'm kind of hiding behind this thing. It's so big. But this is what I just want to, I can't really stress how great the build is on this thing. It's so robust. Like the pins that are in these hinges, the hinges themselves, it's amazing. Everything about this thing is built to last. It's an incredible bit of kit. This is £200, but it's I would argue potentially it's the best £200 you're going to spend in beer. If you like camping, going on sort of road trips and holidays, going for beach days, beach weekends, you know, like you can live outside successfully, comfortably with one of these, and you don't need like a battery operated fridge or, you know, one of those car coolers that you plug in. This thing will genuinely keep your beer cold for 5 days. I think it's just an ingenious bit of kit. The highest quality you could like. I'd put this against a Yeti cooler or any of those, you know, super, super expensive brands. I think Utaka are awesome. It's even got this valve here for like, you know, if you're traveling and it gets up into, you know, what do you call it? An aeroplane, and because you've got this gasket valve, the pressure could build up or change. You can push it to depress it. They've literally thought of everything. It's fantastic. It's a chair, it's a campfire table, it's everything you could want, right? And it's one other thing which I haven't got to yet. It's a bottle opener. I mean, this thing really does have it all. Utaka 20. Right, now it's time to get rating, and it's my favorite part of the show. It's Lowbrow's Crispy Boy rating system. So first, let's talk about the Utaka 20. I think this thing is gonna last several lifetimes. I reckon you could run over it with a tank and this thing wouldn't even budge. It would probably break the tank. It's that well built. It's an incredible piece of kit. It fits more beers than I could drink in a few days in it, and it will keep them cold for 5 days. It's £200. It's got all these lovely design features on it that are all very well thought out. I can't give it any lower than 5 Crispy Boys out of 5. I can't knock any points off. I think £200 is way better than your Yetis and your other kind of coolers in this roto-molded realm. And honestly, having handled those coolers, I don't see any difference. I think this is way better design-wise. The Igloo Playmate Cool Tunes. I love this thing more than it's rational to love it. I think it's so cool. It's so fun. It's got such great graphics on it. Like, it's really beautiful. As a guy that loves design, I think, like I said, I'd put this on the wall happily. This is like a really cool design item, and I think, you know, price of entry is a little bit high, but the fun to be had is immeasurable. So I'm giving it 4 out of 5 Crispy Boys. The Ray Packaway 12. It's a fantastic bit of kit. I really love the origami nature of this thing. The price point is fantastic, $40, and I think it's such a well-made bit of kit. Ray really do think about everything that they make and put out into the world. I'm gonna give it 4.5 Crispy Boys out of 5. Or maybe, I think that's being a little bit harsh. I might have to give it 5 out of 5. It's such a unique idea, and the execution is so good, the value point is so good. I'm actually changing my mind as we're talking about this. It's 5 out of 5 Crispy Boy rating from Bradders. We've got one final Crispy Boy rating to hand out, and I almost lost it because it's so small. It's the Bellroy Cooler Caddy, right? This thing, it's my new daily driver. I'm gonna be bringing this with me whenever I go out. I'm gonna give it has to be 4 out of 5, right? It's a great design. It's just a little bit punchy. If this came in at like £40, £35, I think this would be a 5 out of 5 Crispy Boy rating. So I hope you've enjoyed this little meander into the world of cool boxes, as I've come to crown the coolest. I think rightfully so. And I'd be very keen to know what you guys think. If you've come across cooler cool boxes, send them in the comments below. Stay cool, kids.